Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Pontos15, also known as David, and today we are going to be doing a quick tactical video on one of my currently most favorite units in the Blood Angels army, and that is the Vanguard veterans. These are available also for the regular Space Marine list, but however it's the Blood Angel version that I am going to be focusing on. So, the Vaguard veterans, just basic Marines, weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 4, strength 4, toughness 4. However, they do have an extra attack and an extra point to their leadership, the veteran bonus for it there. They can be kitted out in a number of ways. Points cost for the basic squad that you see in front of you is 115 points. You do have to buy the jump packs separately, so that's an additional 10 points per model. So this squad that you see right here, base, 115 plus the 50 for the jump packs is 165. So already we've got a rather hefty points cost. But you see here that I've got a Power Fist on my Sergeant, so that's an extra 10 points. A 10-point Power Fist for the Sergeant, I think, is completely worth it. And all of my other regular Marines, you'll notice on the shoulder pad here and on here, the 4 regular guys have Melter Bombs, which is 5 points per model. The entire squad can take Melter Bombs. So it's 20 points for the bombs, 10 points for the Power Fist. It's an additional 30 on top of our 165. This 5-man squad is 195 points. Now, you're probably wondering why I'd be fielding a 200-point 5-man squad. Well, for those of you who are familiar with Vanguard veterans, they can perform a special maneuver called Heroic Intervention, which means that this makes them one of the only units, in fact, I think the only unit, that can assault off of the Deep Strike. That is correct. They can assault off of the Deep Strike. You place the model on the field like you would a regular Deep Strike, and before you roll the scatter dice, you must declare that you are making a heroic intervention. That means that you can no longer shoot, you can no longer run, but you may assault if you are within range. Now, this is different from 5th to 6th, because now you have that potential to move up to 12 inches in the assault phase. And then again, you also may only move 2 inches, which has happened to me once or twice. So these guys suddenly become a little bit more potent. Now, just a quick reminder that Jump Pack Infantry normally get the Hammer of Wrath special rule and can also reroll those 2 dice for their assault distance. That is only if they did not use their jump packs in the movement phase. Deep Striking counts as having used your jump pack in the movement phase, so you do not get Hammer of Wrath and you do not get to reroll. So, it's still kind of dangerous maneuver to make. However, if you can pull it off, it is worthwhile. And that is also another reason that I prefer the Blood Angel version as opposed to the regular Space Marine version, is the special rule Descent of Angels. Instead of rolling 2d6 for the scatter, I can roll 1d6, which means that I can afford to get a lot closer to the unit that I'm trying to take out, the unit that I'm trying to engage, and I don't have to worry that much about the scatter. Now, why is this unit... Why am I in love with this unit right now? Why do I feel like this unit can be a complete game changer? Well, not only in the Blood Angels list do they start coming in on turn 2 on 3 pluses, I also get to re-roll that due to also the Descent of Angels special rule. So they get to assault off the Deep Strike, which is a fantastic rule, but the reason that I've kitted them out with Melt Bombs and a Power Fist is to make them my anti-tank unit. Now, I know not a lot of people are rolling tanks right now, but the ones that are usually, they're very few and far between, but they're usually rather essential tanks. I've played Imperial Guard players who have Manticores, where if I had these guys on the field, I could have deep struck behind it, assaulted it, dead Manticore. Sure, this is a 195-point unit, and I don't know how much a Manticore is worth, but you have to think about it in a different light. You have to think about how much damage are you preventing. In that game, the Manticore actually did a fair amount of damage to me. Was it 200 points worth? I'm not entirely sure. I don't remember calculating that. However, if you can knock out a unit that you think is going to be doing enough damage, then these models make up their points. They don't have to earn back all 200. They have to prevent 200 other points of your army from being destroyed. Now, why would I run a Power Fist as opposed to just another Melter Bomb? I mean, especially against a Land Raider, I would definitely prefer a 5th Melter Bomb. Sometimes my opponent's not going to be running tanks. Sometimes my opponent is going to be running infantry units. So, where I don't want to put these guys in the danger zone next to a tank, I want to put these guys into a squad. I want to assault them into Something that is lightly defended, or something that's going to be causing me a lot of damage later on. Maybe a lone pack of long fangs at the back, devastators, maybe some artillery. The new artillery now comes at toughness 7, so it's very difficult to shoot down. However, taking out the crew may be the best way of doing it. Taking out the crew of an Icarus las cannon or a quad gun. Something that's going to help me maintain the sanctity and safety of my army for the rest of the game. So, and these guys are now especially good at tank hunting. The difference between 6th and 5th is that I no longer have to have hard to hit rolls. If I get in base with a vehicle that hasn't moved, I auto hit. Now think about it in this terms. If I'm attacking a Rhino or a Predator with rear armor 10, and that tank didn't move, let's say, well, the Predator didn't move, let's say the Rhino did. So if I assault the Rhino, I've got 4 melter bombs here, and I'm hitting on 3s. So statistically speaking, I should be hitting with 3 of them. Now, glances are now automatic hull points. Now, melter bombs come at strength 8, and I roll 2d6 armor pen. It doesn't matter what I roll, it's going to be a glance. That's a dead Rhino. Versus the Predator that didn't move, 4 auto hits. That's a dead Predator. Without even having to roll, these units have already destroyed a tank. It's like nullifying a unit from the game. In those situations where your opponent is not running tanks is where it gets a little bit more tricky. Maybe you don't want to deep strike them. Maybe you just want to leave them on the field somewhere and eventually have them pounce on something. However, again, like I said, there may be that unit that is being a bit of a pest. Maybe you're playing Kill the Messenger and the Messenger's hiding at the back like a little wimp. Deep strike in, assault the unit. Power Fist is going to help there because you've got some AP1 attacks going, AP2 attacks going through. Sorry. So the rest, your 4 guys are going in with 4 attacks each. Your opponent's going to be hitting back, and then whatever's left is going to be killed by the Power Fist. So there you go. This unit is very multi-useful. 200 points, maybe a little bit steep for some people, but however, you have to try and think about it a little bit differently. This is going to be a unit that I'm going to try running. Vanilla Marines also have a very good option. If you run Kavan Shrike, you can exchange your combat tactics rules for Fleet, which means that when you deep strike in, after you declare your heroic intervention, you can then reroll any of your assault dice. So you can circumvent the fact that you've used your jump pack in the movement phase and have the Fleet special rule. Maybe that's an option there. I don't know what the points value for the Vanilla Marines are. I'm almost certain that it's going to be synonymous, but this is how I'm going to be running my Vanguards. I'm probably going to be running them. I'll have at least 1 squad in a list. I may run 2. Depends on how I'm going to be using them. So that's just my quick review of Vanguard veterans and why I think they're going to be pretty useful, or why I think that they are useful. If anyone tries to use them, or if anyone has any questions, please send me a message. If you like this video and you want to see some more on some other units, please let me know in the comments section. Like and subscribe to the videos, and just let me know. Alright, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you on the battlefield.